I found this spot. There doesn't seem to be too many people here to hide for a few minutes. All this space and not one place to sit. Unless I want to go sit on that steamroller over there. And guess what? I'm not going to do that. Oh, there's a rock over there. I'm not going to do it. But I thought I would talk about the blind man in when he was coming up behind Jesus, and he kept yelling because he wanted to be healed, and he heard that Jesus was coming, and Jesus' apostles kept pushing him back, telling him to go away, and he just yelled all the louder. And Jesus wanted him to come closer and told his apostles to let him come up, and Jesus says, what is it that you see? And the blind man said, I see men as trees walking. And that goes along with faith is like a tree, that even the birds will come rest in the branches. But it's the way you grow, it's not anything else, just the way you grow up. There's a certain pattern to it. It's not like that. Somebody like that wouldn't grow up and there wouldn't be a pattern to it. It's about, it's where the heart is. You have a heart and what you're interested in, because in the Bible it says what goes in the eyes is what's in the heart, and what's in the heart is what comes out of the mouth, something along that line. And it's true, that's where the heart is. And when you do things, you base it on what your interests are, and that starts about the age of 3 or 4. You make up your mind by some kind of example that you have seen in another human being that you would want to be like. And normally the firstborn child is the one that is noble, wants to do everything right, everything parents' way. I'm not saying that's true in every case, but for the most part. And so it depends on where you're at in the family. If you're the firstborn, secondborn, thirdborn, fourthborn, if you're a boy or a girl, and your place and what you want to get out of life. How do you want to get it, and where do you want to go with it? And that's pretty much those decisions about that age. And some people actually want to be like God. Other people want to be lawyers and doctors and stuff like that, which is all cool, but this is about a special place for a certain kind of individual, and everybody's kind of gotten away from that. It's not like anymore when you hear the Bible stories about Christ dying on the cross for our sins, that you think that oh, as a little child, oh, he's a hero, he saved everybody, and that's what you want to be like. It's pretty much that's not going to happen. It's kind of rare. But that influences all your other choices. As you grow up and you make a decision after decision based on the previous decisions, you sooner or later you're gonna forget that that's what you did. You won't forget it totally, but it'll be like back. But see, the human character will use that, and it'll always be there, regardless whether you remember it or not. And you're the next up for that would be about 14 or 15, and then 24, 25 area. But usually it falls in suit with 21, because that's the age of adulthood, that you can absolutely leave on your own and go about your life as you wish. But for the decision part of it, it is still 24, 25. And that just keeps going, 35, 45, 55. And in those years that you are thinking about those things, the previous years that you thought comes back to mind. And if you don't put those in reason and actually pursue those things, then what happens is you start to become bitter, and you become angry at everybody. You're not the loving person that you should be, because you didn't go for your goals, and you're not becoming happy. I'm not saying your goal can be a housewife, the best one in the world, as long as you're pursuing your goals, your dreams. And the human mind's pretty adaptive. It remembers and it adapts. And how it all starts out is like from conception, and your genetics tell you whether you're going to be male or female. And you start to grow as a male or female because of your genetics, but it's your hormones that actually shape your mind. Because the women's hormones are like exactly like the opposite order of men's hormones. So when it's telling the mind how to develop, well, it's boosting it besides the genetics. That's where you get your emotional content, is from your hormones, at least in part. It's part of your drive system. It's not your total drive system, but it's part of your drive, but about half of it, I would think. And so the male and female mind develop a little bit different and opposite in order, but not like mirror image opposite. It's not like that. It's men and women pretty much want the same things. They just have a different wording system for it, and it kind of confuses everybody when it's spoken out. Because men are so feely-feely, at least it doesn't seem like we're feely-feely, but we are. We're just in a different sort of way. I mean, you got to connect you got to be able to connect and translate those feelings from a man to a woman. But pretty much, if you're a couple, you can figure that out real fast, talking about everything. Okay, so the mind develops. Well, where the tree comes in, you grow like a tree. It's basically a concept, kind of like along the line of the rod and the staff are concepts. Most people don't think of it that way, but actually they are. I don't know if I could say what they were at the moment. I might have to look it up, but you can have a good tree and a bad tree. It's either a tree that grows pruned, has been pruned, it grows to bear fruit, and has been pruned in such a way where it will bear a lot of fruit. And then you have the twisted tree that won't bear any fruit because it just has grown however it wants to grow. It hasn't been fine-tuned. So that's what that is. And if you're bumping into things and you're blind and you get hurt by everything that you come across, you're going to learn real fast feelings. And feelings actually rule everything, because you can recreate those feelings, and it goes back to genetics again. The human mind, as it gets older, lost my train of thought. It was important too. Let's see. Well, I'll think of it again. I'll just keep talking. So, faith is something that you do. It's not a belief. See, the male human psyche is not trust. I mean, everybody wants to get into this trust issue. Do you trust me? Do I trust you? And it doesn't fall in line with the male psyche at all. Because with trust, you literally start over. You lose it. So if you do something, if somebody does something to you, and you're thinking, trust line, then basically they start over, if they start over at all. Here's somebody coming. And that's not with people. People are belief. Their setup is not support, and it's not trust, it's belief. So you can believe in somebody, and the forgiveness aspect of believing in somebody becomes different than it does in the trust. Because if you believe in somebody, then you believe that they can do it. But if they fail, it's more forgiving to have the forgiveness part in there and the believing part in there than it is the trust, because the trust is just final. It's over. It'll never be the same. So you can believe in people, because people fall different than animals and objects. animals and objects, you could trust your dog, or you don't trust your neighbor's dog, or whatever, because they're all objects. And depending what you do with them and ownership and all that. So this thing with believing, that's along the line of God too, because God you believe in, God you give thanks to, like a parent. You know, if you're a child and you're asking your parents for things, and if your parents gave you something, you would thank them. You know, so you have, it's not really like in a sense of worship, but it's definitely a respect thing. You know, you appreciate him, God, for who he is, you know, and what he created us to be along the same line, because that's what it's all about, is that mindset. So that God is love, and I'm trying to figure out why. Well, it passes on to us because, you know, if you stop and think about it, men are love because we're the ones that provide everything. So we're the providers, we are the love. And there's another reason for that. The leaves are blowing all over again. So to a man, to be believed in is love. That is love to a man, and that's why men are loved. For that very reason, they are as they are treated. You know, like in Lord of the Rings, the way they get a dark elf is by treating them really terrible, and then you get into the twisted tree, not the good tree that got pruned and was brought up right before God and got plenty of sunshine, because God is the sun in spiritual sense. He's the sun, and you're following the spiritual beliefs. So as good as men can be, they're oftentimes tricked and fooled into becoming the opposite, which is hatred. You know, and like I said before, men run around on the face of the planet and hate themselves. They hate themselves for what they became. They don't seek out their ambitions, I mean the good ambitions, to better themselves, be remembered for something good. And then they want to have somebody destroy them, so it's almost like a dare, you know. And well, I thought I'd bring you that while I was cooking dinner. Thanks for watching my video, and you have a nice day.